Hey, flooring pros. I'm Jerry Levinson, and this is the Flooring Business Podcast, where we talk to expert flooring dealers, suppliers, marketing experts, and software experts, and anyone who I believe is going to help you in your flooring business. Now, my mission is to give you good information that'll help you reach your goals. If you're just starting your business, or you're trying to reach $5 million in sales, or you're getting ready to sell your business, you're going to find useful information that'll help you reach your goals and profit now in the flooring industry. The Flooring Business Podcast is brought to you by Ring Ring Marketing. Go to ringringmarketing.com and request a free analysis of your website, your area, and your scope of work. They'll make recommendations on how to best strategize your marketing efforts so you get the best return on your investment. You'll even get a coach that helps you get better results. All right. Hey, Flooring Pros. Okay, this week we have on Daniel Moscovitch. Am I saying it right? I can't spell it right. At least Google
Saying it
says
right,
that.
Daniel Moscovitch. Yeah,
Google
there's a lot of syllables there. Yeah, a
Google
lot of
doesn't
letters.
recognize it. Is it because you're Canadian? So, so he's from Flooring Pros. I'm curious. I'm going to get right into it with you. He Daniel does websites, marketing. He helps people generate leads, generate business for flooring companies. Why flooring? Why did you choose that vertical?
Yeah, that's a question I've gotten a bunch. It's a combination of randomness, but also it made sense. I started off doing SEO, websites, online marketing as a generalist agency about 11 years ago. We worked with all different types of clients, from med spas to lawyers to doctors, dentists, roofers, plumbers, you name it. We had a flooring store that we worked with about 5 years ago. In Vancouver, BC, where I was living. Really liked working with them. Found it pretty a little less competitive on Google than other industries, and so we decided to pursue that as a niche. And since then, I've really fallen in love with it. And I say that it's meant to be because I actually have a number of family friends and family who are in the business of flooring. I have a ton of contacts in flooring. I really like the fact that it's a combination of kind of like a white collar versus with a blue collar work. So the contractors, the installers, they're craftsmen. They're great at what they do. They're very detail oriented and technical, but also most often you also have to have a nicely laid out retail location and store, and you have to think about marketing and sales tactics and design. So I like the fact that it's not just like, if your toilet's clogged, call us, and it doesn't matter what we look like or how we present ourselves. It's a matter of really putting your best foot forward, not only the product and the installation, but the pre-sales as well. And so I feel like I was meant to be in that kind of uh middle ground that combines both of those
You know, one of the things that got me involved in the flooring business was doing a little bit of research, and I was working for the company that bought Blind Devotion, my window covering company, and my job was to sign up people to sell their window coverings. And I thought, well, let me go after flooring companies, and I did a search for flooring companies in this area, flooring companies near me, and nobody came up. It was Empire and Home Depot. That was about it. But nobody came up on page one. Even just there was no local activity from any local stores. And this is a major area, Glendale, Arizona. So huge population. And I'm like, wow, this is a great opportunity. I mean, there's nobody advertising their business. And it really has been fascinating to see how slow people in the flooring industry are to start marketing, spend money on marketing. And for some reason, the money that people spend in the flooring industry is significantly less than other industries. I've got a friends that are in like pest control, and guys are paying 3, 4, 5 grand to get a website in pest control. Well, in the flooring industry, I mean, there's all these companies that build them for nothing, 500, $600, or they might build a website for $1,500 and then manage it for $300 or $400 a month, 500. They're very cheap. And I hear the complaints all the time. It's like, man, these guys are ripping me off. I'm not getting any business. No, the problem is they're not charging you enough. So you're not being charged enough to make it effective. So there's all these marketing companies have created inexpensive alternatives, not effective alternatives.
Yeah, and I don't like to uh I don't know about what other companies are doing, but you need to understand the difference between launching a website that looks good and launching a website that looks good and has traffic. A lot of business owners don't really understand the difference between, oh, I have a website, so people should come to me, but that's just not how it works. It's got to be crickets. You have to invest in the other opportunities and the other activities to generate that traffic and buzz to your website, and that costs money for sure. I mean, there is a rule of thumb that businesses should spend 5 to 12% of their anticipated revenue, their revenue
And
goals
nobody's
on
even
marketing,
close to that. Nobody's even
and
close
no
to
one.
that in this industry. And I went to a major event where they were trying to get everybody to spend 1% more. And I thought, man, 1% more. I said, they should be spending about 5%. Why aren't you coming with that message? He's like, Jerry, you know how hard it is to get these guys to spend money on advertising. I mean, they're spending about 1 to 1.5% on advertising. So we're just trying to get them to spend 1% more. And we're talking about businesses doing $2, $3 million a year.
Yeah, yeah. It will pay off eventually with that added investment. But I understand that it's hard. I mean, if you've been doing something one way for a while and it's worked, uh, why would you change it? Why would you take that added risk? So I understand on one hand. On the other hand, things are changing. The economy is not as good as it used to be, so you have to invest in making sure that you're kind of you're positioning yourself in a great position when people are starting to spend more on home renovations. And you and I know both very well that flooring and remodeling and the types of clients that we work with, these are not quick decisions. It's not direct response marketing necessarily of, my toilet's overflowing. I need to fix it right now. It's okay. Well, I'm thinking about remodeling my basement, or I'm thinking of remodeling my bathroom, my kitchen. I'm looking at options. Is it a right time for it right now or not? And some people are putting that decision, either kicking that can down the road, which means that our clients need to do a better job of not only attracting them at the beginning, but also following up with them consistently so that when they are ready, they're going to increase the closing rates there and make their marketing more effective. But most business owners don't think long term; they think short term. I got a call. They weren't ready right now, so it's garbage. I'm gonna forget about that person, and that's the wrong attitude, right?
Let's banter a little bit about costs too. So I'm kind of getting away from the whole percentage thing, saying you should spend 3%, 4%, 5%. Nobody really budgets anyhow. What we do is we look at how much we spent at the end of the year and how much sales we made, and say, oh, we spend this much on marketing. It's based on what we already did, not it's there's no planning. I mean, how many people have you talked to that said my marketing budget is X amount? You know,
Yeah, a few
no,
people have that already. Yeah, there.
yeah, almost nobody has that dialed in that I've ever talked to. But um, for me, the my rule is this, and I've developed more of these theories and rules over time. But if you're doing 1.5 or more, you should be spending about 3,500 a month minimum on your marketing, on your SEO and pay per click, and dominating a product category. And that's
I would say,
what I get into is under $2, $3 million, you need to dominate a product category.
yeah, yeah, and it costs to do it, and it pays off eventually, right? Uh, we're lucky in the industry where the average ticket item or the average value of a client, a sale, can be upwards of, 7.5 grand. Well, so you don't need the volume. You need the good opportunities. And so investing 3.5 to $5,000 a month may seem like a lot, even if you're spending 5 grand a month for 3 months, but you don't get too many things. In month four, you could get four new clients that pay for the first 3 months there. Right. And it takes time. And, I always say that it's like a snowball effect. You have to build up the foundation, get the momentum. And once the momentum is going, that's when it really becomes magical.
What's realistic that somebody should feel good about the investment? 3 months, 6 months. I know you've had clients that after 2 months, they're like, oh no, this is not working. And then they bail.
That, yeah, and that's unrealistic. Unfortunately, the way that things work is it's not a quick win, and it comes down to a few different factors. One I mentioned before, flooring is not everyone is ready to buy right away. So yes, you spent some money to generate that lead, but they're just not ready. So they're not going to convert now. They could convert 6 months down the road, right? So I would say we ask our clients, the way that we're doing things now is we start with a 90-day on ramp, and in that 98-day on ramp, we're showing them all the things that we're doing to improve their business online and their marketing strategy and their website and things like that, and showing them that we've made gradual improvements. I do not think that anyone investing in marketing in 3 months is going to make their money back in 3 months. And it's become more clear to me that that's the case. Sometimes it does happen where they do get lucky and a deal closes and it's a $15,000 deal. So they made their initial investment back. But it's the idea that it's going to take time for this to gradually kick in. We've had some clients where they've already, rocked it because they had tons of reviews and we just had to tweak a few things and they're getting a lot more calls and walk-ins. Where other clients we've had where we had to start from the square one, they had nothing. Their website was not optimized. They had nothing on their Google profile, nothing. So I would say within 6 months you should know if this is going to work. But we try to get our clients to commit to a year after that first 90-day on ramp.
So we have a client, a mutual client that, again, the when I did a case study on, they're up $1 million this year. They're going from 1.5 to $2 million or 2.5 million. Uh, they're on track to hit 2.5 this year. We think they'll do better because you just started working with them. I started working with them about beginning of summer, and they were on track to still hit that 1.5. So just got dramatic increases. But then you came a little late to the game, to the party, but they've got pretty good results pretty fast. It didn't take much because his closing rate has went from 30% to 70%. So you just give him a few more leads and that's gold.
Yeah,
So they've
that's
had significant improvements.
it makes our jobs easier, Jerry, when we're working with clients like that who are absolute rock stars and studs at what they do. Uh, you know, they do a great job. They do great work. It's hard to deny that they're experts at their craft. They have over 170 or 185-star reviews on Google.
Right.
The pictures are great. That's easier for what we do. So if you're helping them increase their conversion rate, selling more from the homes, and we're helping drive more traffic, it's a win-win-win.
It's
And
funny how you
definitely
look
makes
at it because you've generated a lot of leads for people that can't close and haven't been able to sell, don't even get the appointment. And so they'll say this isn't working.
yeah,
So it's frustrating on your end when they're not uh, selling in the home, they're not closing deals, they're not charging the right profit margins, high enough prices, or they're attracting flies with their marketing. When I the clients I work with, and we have a mutual client as well, that it's hard to help them when their marketing sucks,
hmm
and sometimes for me, it takes them 6 months or more to change. Like they're with a company that I'm like, guys, you got to change. You got to do something different because I can't get you the results that we need to get you unless you make the change. Because the
yeah,
marketing is so important. You got to attract customers. You know,
yeah.
and
You got to find the right customers, right? I mean, that particular client, we we identified three target customer personas they want to go after, and none of their website or their marketing or their messaging was set to them. So you need to make sure that you have the right, message in front of the right people, and that's important for sure. Um, I think that that's a huge thing you need to be able to close, and I think it comes down to a number of different things. People getting set in their ways. Their business has been, profitable for so many years, so why do I need to change too many things? People used to people walking in to the store and just doing sales there. And people just not wanting to do all the follow-up that's required. But the world is shifting, the business world is shifting, the way things uh happen are shifting. People are using online searches a lot more. They're checking out reviews, they're going to look at social media. So you got to hit them from multiple angles, and you have to be willing to follow up and not just forget about someone who is not ready at the time.
One thing that's dramatically changed is the SEO. It used to be, you get the website, you have somebody manage it for you. They're managing it for, again, $400 to $600 a month, and that included SEO. And so really to drive traffic, you did pay-per-click advertising. Now, based on my experience, I feel like that has changed. Am I wrong about that? Or because I know you got to pay, you know, SEO is anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500 a month to
Yeah,
get somebody to do good
even
SEO.
more, depend on what neighborhood they're in or what city. Like if they're in a competitive neighborhood or in a competitive market, it's gonna cost even more. Yeah,
Okay, well,
I started off as I
do me a
started
favor.
off as
Explain that to me. Explain that to me.
okay.
Why it is a because I don't understand that. Why would SEO cost more in a different area? I figured the background stuff you're doing for SEO is pretty much the same. It's not pay per click. I understand. So if you're
No, okay.
paying,
So SEO comes down to three factors. You have your on page, your on site, and that's what most people think is SEO. So they launch a site and every title tag has the keyword in it and it has the right things. That's like step one. So and that's basically basic SEO that most people say that they do SEO when they launch you a website, one of these things. Step two for that would be adding on more content, continuously improving the content. Let's take a topic like vinyl or hardwood. Not don't have just a page about vinyl, have a page about vinyl planks, vinyl tiles, sheet vinyl. Hardwood, have about engineered hardwood and site finished, pre-finished hardwood, wide plank, solid, all the different types. Really go deep on the topic because Google wants to understand that you understand that topic, that you're an authority. So building out a site like that is really important. That's the on-site things. And that takes resources and that takes time. The second and third factor is the offsite, right? So offsite would be getting backlinks from other sites, which cost money. So, for instance, building sites like different listings, business listings, citations, getting videos up on YouTube, that takes resources to create the content, to build the links, to get them. Press releases are huge these days. So if you can get your website listed on a press release saying, hey, we just launched a new website, or we're offering a new product, or we're offering a new service, we use a press release service that cost us about $300 every time, but it's distributed to 500 of the top news sites. So if it's costing us $300 to use every time, we got to obviously charge our clients a little bit more for that. So, and then there's things like guest posting on other sites, which is all part of Google's algorithm. But most people don't talk about that stuff. They just say, okay, well, we created a site and it has the right title tags, so you should be able to rank. So the reason I'm saying it depends on the market is if it's a really small market and there's only three other flooring stores in it, then if you do the on-site right, sometimes that's enough. And
right?
if you have good reviews, sometimes that's enough. But if you're in competitive market where there's 50 other stores or 100 other stores, then it comes down to quality and quantity. So that means you need to have more links than your competitors. You need to have more press releases. You need to have more reviews. You need to have more guest posts. You need to have more citations. You need to have more content. You need to have more words. You need to have more pages. So all that stuff adds up. So the more competitive, the more that is needed, and therefore that then should cost more because of the work involved.
Now, are you able to show up? Well, you can't show up above somebody spending money on pay per click necessarily, but like on the map section or in the organic session, if you do, what would you do as a small business owner spending about 3,500 a month on your, would you only do SEO or would you do a combination or how would you manage that?
Yeah, I would do SEO, a small budget on Google, and a small remarketing budget on Facebook just for brand awareness. So if I had SEO is always going to be the ultimate traffic generator. And I've known this for a long time, and I've known this talking to my flooring clients now. It takes a while to kick in, but when it does, people trust what shows up organically and in the maps a lot more than an ad. And we know it. We've talked about pay-per-click before. 1 in 10 pay-per-click searches might be a good lead, or 1 in 10 pay-per-click searches might be a lead to a prospect calling or filling out a form. But even then, 1 in 4 of those people calling or filling out might actually be someone who books an appointment. So often on pay-per-click, you're paying for clicks that are a little irrelevant, people looking for jobs, people looking for competitors, and it's up to us to try to weed those out. But Google wants to get paid. It's a business, and it's becoming harder and harder to get the right clicks and the right traffic. And Google's really sneaky these days. It's not showing you all the information. It used to show you all the different keywords that you're getting searched for now. Now it shows you maybe 30% and it hides the other 70%. So I would say a minimal budget on Google just because it's important to be there, and a minimal budget on retargeting on Facebook or Instagram because that means if someone's looking, they may not be ready, but then they see a video of you or a walkthrough of your showroom or maybe a testimonial or a case study. Like, okay, yeah, these people are they're following me on my socials. Maybe I'll give them a shot and I'm ready to take action now. But SEO has to be the biggest player. I just had a call with one of these clients that we were talking about, and they said that they're closing a lot more from the organic walk-ins, from the SEO, from the maps, than they are from the ads, and that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
So I try to steer people away from just investing in ads. And I understand it's hard to do because ads, you put your credit card in, you run the ad, it's instant. So it's quicker, but it's just not going to be as effective. And I really try to hammer that in from the beginning. Ads, you're going to be disappointed with the results in the ads at the beginning. It takes time to work towards it, but the ads will help the organic, and the organic will help the ads, and it's all combined.
Yeah.
So I really try not to split them into different buckets. I try to say like it's a cohesive strategy. You should be investing in your website, your SEO, your Google Maps, a little bit of Google ads, and some social media ads, as well as organic social media. If you do it well and you build a cohesive strategy that's based on content that's, uh, top of funnel content, so content for people who are in the awareness stage, looking at different types of flooring, what flooring costs, what's involved in the process, all that kind of stuff. If we create that stuff, put it out in different mediums, then we'll do a better job of converting them down the pipeline.
Now, what about things like I used to do this all the time. I used to post on my Google My Business profile. And just myself, I would post videos on there all the time. And I know if you're posting videos and content and you're tagging them, it's very valuable. I don't know how to get into Google Business Profile. Google My Business used to be really easy. And one of the things is my Profit Now website is kind of shut down to my Google Business Profile. Like I can't get in there right now for some reason. I'm locked out. So we can still manage the account. I can't get in there to add videos and add stuff for my business. I don't need it for this business. But if I had that flooring business, I definitely would be in there, 2, 3 times a week. It's all free, right?
It's all free, and it helps. I mean, when I first got into SEO, this is over 10 years ago. The maps weren't as prevalent. a little bit further down, and there was also 7 results as opposed to 3. And most searches were going to the organic results. Now most searches are going to the maps, right? Most clicks are going to the maps. So it's really important to do that. And I mean, it's all connected, right? It's really hard to, unless you're in a non-competitive market, to show up in the maps without a well-optimized website. So a well-optimized website is what we talked about, making sure you cover the topic in full. You have neighborhood pages, location pages, area pages, talk about the areas you serve. That's going to help you perform better in your Google My Business. But then also the things you've talked about, user signals are important. So if you post a lot, that means other people are going to see them and they're going to read them and they're going to click on interact with your post. If you get reviews a lot, that means people are interacting with your profile. If you have new images and new videos and you're adding to it, you're going to get more engagement, which is a factor that Google is looking at. Google wants to promote what people are enjoying. It's kind of like a popularity contest that the algorithm is based on that. So if you have a profile that hasn't received a review or hasn't done anything for a year and is stagnant and stale, it's going to perform a lot worse than a profile that is, adding things to it regularly and people are searching for it and they're clicking, they're interacting with it. And, there's ways to increase that and enhance it. And that's what we do behind the scenes for sure.
So another thing that you and I are working on together is something called pipeline profits, and you you've been trying to develop it for me and the Profit Now for Flooring Dealer business, and where anybody that raised their hand, we're able to continuously advertise to them and people that have done business with me. So if I'm a flooring store, in even when I had my flooring store, I was better than most about it, but I don't know anybody that's really good about it, staying in touch with previous customers. And we get a lot of repeat business in this industry because um, almost nobody does the entire house all at the same time. So you're going to get additional work from the same client. And
Mhm.
even if they do the entire house, these people move, they get divorced, the kids leave. There's all these changes happening in their life that will require them to get you. And one thing I've showed customers and told them, if you did a great job for this customer and you didn't have any problems, they may never use you again. If you had a problem and you went and took care of it, they may use you. They probably will never use anybody else. And it's kind of funny the way that works out. Like if you did a great job and no problems, then it's almost as if anybody could have done that. So it's so much more important to stay with those customers, even though you did a great job. You think they're going to call you. Well, they're walking in the Home Depot and they see something that they like that could trigger them to ask some more questions, get an estimate, and not even think about you. They just wanted that flooring at that time. So unless you're doing something to stay in front of them, you may not get those customers again.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. I mean, it comes back to the sales cycle and the buyer's journey. And, those of you listening to this understand that, if someone's looking for flooring, they're interested in flooring, but that doesn't mean that they need it right away. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they're selling their house, so they need to update their floors so they can increase the value of their sales value of the home. Sometimes they're hosting a big 50th birthday party and they want to make sure they got new floors before it comes in. Other times they're just interested in finding out more information. So it comes back to being patient and strategic about the follow-up. So we've set this all up now in the back end for our clients, and we're adjusting it and tweaking it and improving it as we go. But the idea is to, if a prospect comes in, and I call them prospects because we know that not everyone is going to be a good lead, but if someone comes in, we're trying our best to get them to book an appointment, a consultation, but schedule something with them. And the way we're doing that is through text messages and AI chat. So we're asking them, do they have any, what your project details are? Do you have any questions? Things like that. And then we're trying to push them towards booking an appointment. If they book an appointment, they book a quote and they reject the quote and say, we're going to go with someone else, that's we can move them to, we lost this person. But if someone's not ready or you've talked to them and they're just getting information, you need to market to them continuously, ongoing. So then we have nurture campaigns and nurture emails. So the way that we set it up is if someone, whether or not you talk to them at the beginning and they're not ready, or you've quoted them and they're not ready, or you even haven't talked to them, they might have just been interested at the time, but then life got busy. You need to continuously message them and email them, and you keep them in your ecosystem. So what we have is we have a set of emails and text messages that go out over the first few weeks, and then we call it long-term nurture. So long-term nurture, those initial text messages and emails are going to be more about, what types of floor would be good for them, the prices of floors, the cost of floors, what to expect during the consultation, why choose our business, highlighting specific reviews and testimonials, things like that. That's the first few weeks. We're trying to get them to book in the first few weeks. But even if they don't, we're going to continue to market them on behalf of our clients every month with maybe a new blog post or a video or things like that. Because like you said, you never know when it's going to be the right time. Either it's a past customer or even a previous lead. So if we can continue
Yeah.
to stay top of mind, do it in a way that's not too aggressive, that's not too, we want to be assertive in the marketing, but we don't want to be over the top. And having that is going to lead to an increased full pipeline and increased conversions.
Man, when business is slow, I like going back 3, 6 months, go back a year at clients that we gave estimates to and have my salespeople call them. It's like, their lives have changed. There are people that we figure about 20% of the people that we give estimates to just don't do anything. Like you didn't lose
Yeah.
them to somebody else. They just didn't do anything right now. It was too expensive. Something was going on in life. So let's get back to them because after 3, 6 months, 8 months, their lives have changed, and we don't know how that changes happen. So, when they weren't ready for it then, at least now they are, and they're more prepared. They know what it costs, and it costs you nothing. You got nothing to lose. We call it Follow Up Friday. It's like you guys, call them until they tell you to drop dead. And you talk
Yeah, I
about
love that. I love that.
yeah, you talk about um, staying with them and continuing to follow up. I've got one guy now that just he doesn't respond very much to me. And his response to me, I texted him on Thursday. Sunday, he gives me a response, and this is the most common response you get. Hey, thanks for staying in touch with me. Yes, I do want to do something. Let's see if we can talk Monday or Tuesdays. Most often we don't follow up. We don't want to bug them. I don't want to email them. I don't want to text them. I don't want to do this. Well, look, if somebody doesn't want to do it, they'll tell you no. And what's so wrong with that? You deserve an answer. You went out and gave them an estimate, but uh, if you do bug them and you are following up and you're consistent about that, they're likely to respond by saying, hey, you know what? I just had a death in the family. I'm glad you are sticking with me. This is something I really wanted to do. So I'm glad you continue to follow up with me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be the most common response for sure. My life is busy. Things got in the way. Thank you for keeping in touch.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, it makes sense. All of us are very, we have, 24 hours in the day and 7 days a week, and we're kind of focused on what's in front of us right now. And we forget about those people who we previously discussed. And like you said, 20% of them might have gone with someone else, but those 80%, they just maybe weren't ready.
Right.
So they shouldn't be considered as a lost opportunity. They should be considered as a not yet, not ready yet, right? So, and that means we need to continuously go after them. So what our program is with the Pipeline Profits is trying to make it easier for them to raise their hand. So we say, hey, this person's still interested, give them a call. So it saves time for our clients' sales teams. What we're trying to do with this is exactly that, help sell for our clients so that the person who is raising their hand is ready to go. So they don't have to waste time calling people who are just looking for, an answer for one thing. So if we have the AI chatbot, we can talk to the prospect about the type of floors and the difference and the cost and things like that, um,
Well, and people
as
can,
well. So we're
if they don't want the emails, they can unsubscribe, right? Or
yeah, and they
tell
can
you to
stop the
stop.
text message.
Because another good client is the ones that didn't go with you but wish they had. So those are great for referrals. But we just had somebody mention it on the forum that this other company was so much less expensive. So they said, no, you're way too expensive. And the company shows up to do the work and they're like, oh, okay, where's the flooring? you know, and they said, well, we thought you had the flooring. So the estimate was for labor only. That's why they were so much less. So they fired them and went back with the other guy because his estimate, even though it was so much more expensive, included the flooring. So that was,
Yeah, that's crazy. That's hilarious. Yeah, I've heard that before with people who specialize in floor leveling, where they've had to go in and redo jobs because the
yeah.
previous company they hired was the cheap one and they didn't level the floor properly, and then the floors, broke and weren't covered under the manufacturer's warranty. And so to be able to stay in touch and say, hey, we're still here if you need us, it's always a good thing.
So, what's a good way to get in touch with you and learn more about if it's a good fit? Because you won't take on just anybody. Like it's got to be a good
No.
fit. You got to know that you can do something. So you're going to research their area, make sure that it's a good fit. You're going to give them realistic expectations of how much the cost should be, and it's a no bullshit interview.
Yeah, exactly. The best thing to do would be to go to flooringprosmarketing.com and schedule a discovery call there. There's a button there. You can learn more about me. You can email me at daniel@flooringprosmarketing.com, or you can just add me on social media as well, Daniel Moscovitch. Reach out to me. I'm going to be doing a lot more marketing and sales myself coming up. We've really just invested a lot of my energy and effort into building the best product that I can, that I know I'm proud of. And we're really getting to that point where I'm really proud of the work we're doing for our clients. And so, over the next 3 to 6 months, including going to surfaces again, and I will be more active and online. So look out for me there. In terms of who we work with, exactly. I mean, we only work with one flooring store per market. I just don't believe it's right for us to do SEO or do the marketing for, a competitor that's across the street, or even, on the other side of town, because flooring people will go to a store that's, 30-minute drive away if it's the right fit. And then a
Right.
lot of our clients are doing in-home estimates also, so it doesn't even matter about that. Um, so I only take on one per market, so I have to make sure that I don't have anyone in that market right now. And then yeah, budget and where they're going, where the revenue is right now, and where they're going, and what is their current website and online reputation. Because it's really hard for us to get results when we're working with someone who has only 1-star reviews, and it's really hard for us to work with someone whose website is, we can't really do much with it, um, or things like that. So that would be the things we're trying to understand if we're a good fit for someone. Would be if they're thinking long term, if they want to invest in their business growth, if they want to rebrand and make their website better, if they've got great offline reputation but they want to transfer it to the online world as well, then that's a good fit for us.
Yeah. How often do you meet with your clients? Are you meeting them every month, or how often do you talk to them and
I
go
have an
over
amazing
reports and
account
things?
manager who meets with clients. It can be a weekly basis, it can be a monthly basis, but we do monthly reports. We just have had our mission plan call with one of our clients. We try to do that at the end of the 90 days. We present this huge marketing plan of all the research and stuff we've done first 3 months, what we've done so far, the analysis, the strategy, and what we're going to implement over the next year. So in the first 3 months, we typically meet with the client at least once a month. And then after that, we send them monthly reports. And if they need to meet with us on an ongoing basis, we're available. But typically, I mean, we are a smaller team. We're remote. We don't have thousands of clients. So if there's something that comes up, we can typically hop on a phone call with them or on a Slack or on a Zoom, day of. So we're definitely more available for that. So
Yeah, we have again a few mutual clients. So you want good referrals and testimonials. There's people if you want to see how Daniel has done work with them. I mean, uh, nobody's been hitting out of the park for anybody lately, but there's just so much room for improvement with these companies. So you get somebody good marketing. When are you going live with Floor Inspirations?
that website will be live in the next 3 days.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to
And
it.
we can share it. Yeah, we can share it.
Yeah, I can't
This
wait to see
podcast.
that with America's most adorable flooring couple. So, so, all
Yeah,
right,
they're
sounds
lovely.
good. Anything else you wanted to add, Daniel? Anything else you got going on this year? You're going to be at
No,
Surfaces?
I mean, I'll be at Surfaces. I'd like to also, maybe start doing a little bit more videos and YouTube. So keep your eyes open for that. And you know, I think I'll close it on, marketing works like when you get the right message in front of the right people, but it's not a quick instant thing. There are some things we can do to get really quick results and things like that, but just because you've tried PPC in the past and you have a bad taste in your mouth, or because you've tried a local provider that didn't really understand your business, does not mean that this stuff doesn't work. It does work. That's why it's been around for a long time. That's why there are people who are winning. There's got to be someone who's at the top of Google. There's got to be someone who's at the top of Maps. There's got to be someone who's doing ads and winning there. It takes time. So really think of it as a marathon and rather than a sprint. If your business is, doing over $1 million in revenue and you want to take it to that 2, 3, 4, 5 million, it's time to invest in a partner that's going to help you get there. And that's where you and I come in, because we're really committed to our clients' success and helping them grow.
Yeah. And if you want a good example of what Daniel does, he created my website for me, which is working great. It's apply.profitnowwithjerry.com. If you guys want to go there, you can apply to work with me, and I'll show you guys how to increase your sales $50,000 a month or $500,000 a year, whichever is greater for you. So if you're a business doing between 500,000 and 3 million, we can help you get there. And I've got so many good partnerships now, like Daniel, that you got to have a good lead generation, but then we can teach you how to close those sales in the home, increase your prices, how to hire sales people and grow that company and bring this to a $5 million a year business. So if you're interested in growing your sales and profits, reach out to me. Go to that website, apply.profitnowwithjerry.com. You can see Daniel's good work there too. He put up testimonial videos for me and really laid it out nice and made it easy for people to click a button and get help. All right, great. Thanks, Daniel, for coming on the show.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jerry.
Thanks for joining the Flooring Business Podcast. Now, if you'd like to have a one-on-one discovery call and learn how you can increase your profit and sales by over 30%, go to jerrylevinson.com and let's discuss where you're at and where you want to go. Don't forget to tune in next week where we have another great podcast with another flooring pro.